So if you're not making at least $100,000 a year, what is wrong with you? And I'm not saying that to be like a jerk or insensitive, because I know some of you are like, oh, but that's not cool. I just, whatever. Stop making your excuses and do the work. In the time that we live, it has never been easier to figure out a way to make 100K. 100 grand is not a lot of money. And the internet has really made it not a lot of money. But unfortunately, a lot of people on the internet are trying to basically get you to 1 million before you've actually learned to crawl. You're trying to run a sprint and do all the big numbers because 1 million, right? That's sexy and it sounds good, but it's before then. It's the small things that you do to make $1, an extra $10 a day, an extra $100 a week. And then as it grows, as it builds, as it scales, all of a sudden you look around and you're like, holy shit, I'm making literally $100,000 a year, $10,000 a month. And that's the point at which everything opens up, as long as you keep your expenses low. $28,000. I made $28,000 yesterday from one of my companies. And I'm not showing you that to brag. I'm showing you that to be like, yo, if this fool can do it, so can I. All right, here's the deal. When I made $100,000 for the first time in my life, and this was probably only like 13 years ago, it wasn't that long ago, I felt like I was absolutely crushing it, because up until that point, I was struggling. I was grinding it out, it was hustle to hustle. I was doing everything I could to literally just scrape by. And unfortunately, when you're just scraping by and making ends meet, it doesn't allow you to think creatively. It also doesn't allow you any extra money to do cool shit. And you're always stressed out about money. But when I made 100 grand for the first time in my life, it's like everything changed. I was killing it. Now, the trick is that once you make 100K, to keep your expenses low and don't do what so many people do, which is start to spend because you got a little extra money. All right, most people, when they start to make more, their lifestyle increases that much, which means you're not actually getting ahead. But the thing that I'm here today to really just talk about and stress is the importance of figuring out that $100,000. Because I promise you, if you can figure out how to make 100K per year, you can figure out how to make 100K per month. But it starts with you taking action. And that's what I really want to discuss today. It's the action steps that you need to take in order to actually get there. So now the question is, how do you make that extra money, right? That's the big question. Now, if it was me, what I would do first is start to look around. Is there something that I think is cool, or a side hustle that somebody is doing that I feel I would be good at or I would enjoy? And then the beautiful thing is, all you got to do then is learn how to do it. And the amazing thing, the most amazing thing, and the reason why I say, like, what are you doing and why aren't you, is because it's never been easier. The access to information has never been more prevalent. With platforms like YouTube or Skillshare or even like the White Label Empire that I put together, like, the information is out there. If there is something that you want to do or something that you want to learn, all you got to do is learn it, follow somebody else that has done it, and then copy, rinse and repeat. That's it. It's literally like a cheat code to success. All the people that are doing it are putting information out there. And that's one of the reasons why I love Skillshare so much, because they're basically teaching you all these different things. Whether or not you want to become an Amazon expert, you don't need to sell on Amazon to learn to be an Amazon expert, or you want to be a marketing guy for social media for a small business. There's tons of classes that can teach you how to do that. If you want to be a social media manager, you can do that. If you want to basically start a side hustle that is selling art because you're artistic, you can do that. And the beautiful thing is that, like I said, it doesn't cost any money. Now, a platform and a membership site like the White Label Empire, that is going to cost a little bit of money, because I am taking all the stuff that I have learned through starting a business like Pete and Pedro, T. Shanley, my YouTube channel, Ollie, Enemy, all the businesses that I've had over the years. I've literally had over 20. I take all that information and I've created a course that basically is going to walk you through step by step what you need to think about, how you're going to source products, how to ideate and create a product that somebody wants. And then I'm in there every single week doing a live training. We record the live trainings that I've been doing now since the first week in January, that you can go back and actually read, because I'm having them all transcribed, and also you can watch them. And so the amount of information, and this is something I was thinking about yesterday when I was doing my live training, the amount of information in these courses and live streams is absolutely priceless. You are not going to learn the stuff that I am talking about in a textbook. You're not gonna learn it in a classroom. You do it by experience, you do it by actual trial and error. And that is what I am bringing to the table, trying to help you avoid the mistakes that I made and basically take you and shortcut you to the front of the line. Guys, if you're interested in joining my community, there are 2 different membership options. There's a one-time fee of $400, that's a lifetime membership, meaning you only pay once, or you could do the monthly membership, which is $97 a month. You cancel anytime. Guys, I'm gonna link to the White Label Empire down below if you're interested in doing something amazing. I will help you start that business if you're willing to take the chance. But that brings me to the next thing. You've got to be willing to take a chance and a risk. If you are going to stay stagnant, if you're going to stay stuck, if you are going to allow all of your past failures or all of your small-minded people around you to tell you or dissuade you from actually trying, you're never going to do anything special. You're also never going to make 100 grand a year. Anyway, back to your skill set. There are things that you can do that will make you a ton of money if you just look around. You've got to be open. You've got to start looking around. What is it? What is something out there that you could do that is a high value skill? So what is a high value skill? It's a skill that people of high value will pay for, or you can charge a lot of money for. It's not shoveling dirt. It's not being a landscaper. A high value skill is something that maybe a business person would pay for, like a social media manager, or helping them with their social media, or helping them with videography, or for me, like video editing. I literally pay somebody $250 a day to edit my videos. They're finding B-roll. I'm doing the majority of the editing. It's a simple process, but they're making $250 a day. I'm doing 4 videos a week. That's $1,000 a week that this dude is making from me. That's $4,000 a month. That literally is $50,000 extra a year just from me, one client. AI, right? AI is massive. It's also getting bigger, and if you can learn about it and you can actually help implement certain aspects of it for other entrepreneurs or business people, this is also another super valuable skill. People are scared of it, honestly. But if you took it upon yourself to actually educate yourself about AI, different applications, different platforms, how to actually use it to benefit businesses, and then you be the expert to save people time and money, because that's the other thing that AI is gonna do. AI is gonna cost a lot of people their jobs, unfortunately. But if you are the person that is the facilitator of this, you're gonna be saving these companies money. I'm not saying that like I'm all like gung-ho on AI, but I can't ignore it, and neither can you. It is something, it is real. Social media, another thing that doesn't really require much other than you learning about it, which you probably already do because you already are spending too much time on social media platforms. The next thing I just wanna mention is stop wasting time. Period. If you're somebody that is spending an extreme amount of time on their phone or on social media, wasting time, you could be using this time to learn. If you're listening to music when you're out for a run, instead, why aren't you learning a skill? And that's the beautiful thing. It's about multitasking. It's about boosting your skill set in order to be more valuable or attractive to somebody that already has money. The thing you got to understand about people that actually have money and that have figured it out, they need more of their time. And so they are willing to basically pay more money than they even should in order for somebody else to come in and help them or solve that problem. You know, if you're somebody that's creative, I was just at an art festival 2 weekends ago in my town, and I literally spent $250 on 2 things that I just thought were cool. It was something that these people that were artists and they were creative, they decided, you know what, let me just do this. And then they attended a flea market, or they attended a festival, and they started to sell their stuff to other people that also thought it was cool. And I gotta tell you, some of the art was amazing, but a lot of it, it's like, you could do, I could do. I go into the coffee shop here locally, and they've got people that have made like mugs that they sell, or they've got little like pictures that people have drawn that they're selling there. Guys, if you have a will, you can make $1. You can actually make $10,000 a month. It's not that hard. The next thing I just like to mention is flea markets. All right, arbitrage, buying something low, selling it high, whether or not it's clothing, going to Salvation Army or the Goodwill, finding things that are cool and then selling it on a place like Facebook Market, or like having a yard sale. Like, that's the other thing. All right, it doesn't matter how you make the extra money as long as you're making extra money. Last week, I did a video showcasing Flower Girl, who's making literally $100,000 selling fresh cut flowers in front of her house, and she's not even manning the store. It's all basically just scanning a QR code, you pay, you take flowers. And I told you how you could actually make $1 million from just doing this. There's so many different creative ways out there for you to make $1, but you gotta start thinking about it. You gotta start applying yourself. You gotta start making this a priority and stop burying your head in the financial sand. E-products are basically zero cost for you to make. It's you creating a product that's a digital product, whether or not it's a PDF or a Word doc or a video, it doesn't matter, right? It's something that somebody is interested in or would like to learn. My buddy Ryan literally made like $7 million one year selling this e-product online, and the only platform that he was really advertising on was Facebook. It's possible. And I'm not saying you need to take it to that level, but if you can figure out a skill that people would pay for or be interested in, if you can help them get more sex or more money or feel better about themselves, right? It's like game over, you win. And then it's just about figuring out how to market to them, which we also teach you in the White Label Empire ad nauseum, because marketing is the biggest piece of the puzzle that most people never figure out. And if you just figured that one thing out, you could be wildly successful. You're not a victim. You're super powerful and you're amazing. And you have every opportunity at your disposal now, like never before, to make extra money. I'm not saying you need to be rich. I'm not saying you need to make $1 million a year or anything like that. But you have to be financially stable. And you've got to have enough money that you don't have to always think about money, because I can promise you, I know what it feels like to always be obsessing and worried about paying my bills. If you have a lot of debt, this is stifling. You've got to figure out a way to get out of debt. You've got to figure out a way to make extra money. I know you've got a job, or at least you should. If you don't, you need to start there. But you've got to figure out a way how to make extra money. If you can figure out how to make $1 on the internet, you can figure out how to make $30,000 a day on the internet. But it starts with you taking action. It starts with you not being scared and starting to open your eyes. And that's the other thing. Once you start knowing, or I should say, once you decide that it's time for you to figure out some type of side hustle to make extra money, whether or not it's delivering pizzas, driving Uber, I don't care how you make it. You gotta figure out how to get to that $10,000 level, all right? In my opinion, that's the money that you need to at least be making to truly live a good life. As long as you keep your expenses in check like we talked about. Don't go out and buy a BMW or something super expensive because you're making more money than you did last week or last month or last year. Keep your expenses low. And then as you grow, that money that you didn't spend, that extra money, then you can start leveraging it. That's when things really start to get amazing. All right, I just ran into a guy today that basically is starting to flip houses. He's flipping about one house every like 90 days. He buys it for cash. Typically, he's around that $200,000 mark. He saved enough money to pay $200,000 for a house. And then he spent a little bit of money fixing it up. He hired people to do that. He didn't do it himself. And then he sold it for $400,000. He spent like $100,000. So he made $100,000 and it took 3 months. So literally he made like $100 grand in profit in 3 months. Guess what? He's done 5 this year. Guys, it's not rocket science. It's rinse and repeat. It's find somebody that's doing something you think is cool that you would like and then duplicating it. Copy exactly what they do and do it for yourself.